Hello everybody and welcome back to my channel. My name's David, this is David K Reacts, and today I'm going to be looking at the first video on my channel of Home Free singing by themselves as a group. Last week I looked at the Survivor cover by Home Free and Voiceplay. This is the first time I'm seeing just Home Free, so I'm really looking forward to it. Survivor was such a great intro to hearing their voices, and I'm really looking forward to seeing what they do as a group. I know they're more country oriented. That's going to be interesting for me. Country is nothing, I don't have any kind of aversion to it, but I also haven't dug into it particularly. I listen to it if I happen to be somewhere when there's music playing. If it comes up on, a Spotify shuffle or something like that, I have no problem with it, but I haven't really delved into it particularly hard. I don't have a favorite artist or anything like that. So this is going to be really interesting. We're going to be looking at Man of Constant Sorrow. I don't know if this is a first-time cliche for reactors or what, but this is by far and away the song that has been recommended the most by people who've been commenting on my channel. And so that's where I figured I'd start. I'm really looking forward to it. If you're new to my channel, welcome. If you're not new, welcome back. Glad to have you here. I'm hoping I will get some home fries coming and joining my community here. I've already got a wonderful community that's been building from my voice play reactions and Jeff Castellucci, and I'm really looking forward to adding more people in and bringing more into this group, because it's been so fantastic to have people supporting me and encouraging me and enjoying my work, and long may that continue. So if you are new here, just to let you know how things work, I'm going to watch the video straight through to begin with, react to it completely naturally, not interrupting and discussing anything. I'm just literally going to watch it straight through, and then I will go back and go over it and stop and analyze as it goes. So if you are interested in the greater analysis, then fantastic. Please do stick around and watch the whole video, but I know some people just like the reactions, so, whatever works for you. If you like the video, please do hit the like button down below. Please subscribe to the channel and hit the bell for notifications if you'd like to know when my videos are coming out. At the moment, I'm anticipating about once a week. We'll see how that works and go from there. I also have a Buy Me a Coffee page, so if you would like to donate, please head over to buymeacoffee.com/DavidKReacts. But there's absolutely zero pressure to do so. The biggest thing is that you're here, you're with me here, and that's fantastic. So thank you for joining, and I hope you enjoy what follows. I don't really do much research into these videos because I don't want to spoil anything for myself or what have you. And I like just going in and experiencing them. I did look briefly into Man of Constant Sorrow. It has an interesting past as far as I understand it. It seems like it was first published in 1913, but the gentleman who did so, there is some debate as to whether or not he wrote it, and that debate includes him. If I understand correctly, later in life he was actually interviewed about it, and he said he didn't remember if he wrote the song or not, so who's to say? It was made famous in 1928 by Emery Arthur. That recording is on YouTube. I recommend you go and check it out. It's really cool. And it sort of came back into popular view with the film Oh Brother, Where Art Thou, which shamefully I have not seen. It's one I really should see, I know. But it was sung there by the fictional group, the Soggy Bottom Boys, fronted, visually at least, by George Clooney. And I'm terrible, I forget the name, but I know there was a very talented singer who overdubbed him. That I've watched a bit of that just to get a vibe, and I've watched the Emery Arthur video as well. And I'm really excited to see what Home Free does. So yeah, we'll see where we go. Just a quick last thing from me is I apologize if I sound a little croaky. I do have a head cold at the moment, but I know I'm going to have some time away where I'm not going to be able to record. And so I'm getting this video done in advance, maybe one more. And unfortunately, I therefore have to do it the way I am right now. But without further ado, let's go and check this video out. I'm really excited to see how this goes, because that Survivor video was such a great setup and introduction and teaser for what Home Free does. So here we go, Man of Constant Sorrow. Oh, that's beautiful. I love the swamp setting. That's really cool. Nice. Oh, that harmony though. Oh.
I am a man of constant sorrow. I've seen trouble all my days.
Very nice.
Kentucky, the place where I was born and raised. The place where he was born and raised.
Oh, I love the effects on the beatboxing.
Years I've been in trouble. No pleasures here on earth I've found. For in this world I'm bound to ramble. I have no friends to help me now. He has no friends to help him now.
Oh, nice. I love they're not making anything too complicated.
I never expect to see you again.
This is great.
For I'm bound to ride that northern railroad. Perhaps I'll die upon this train. Perhaps he'll die upon this train.
Yes, Adam. Oh, that sounds so good.
You can bury
pull back.
me
Nice.
in some deep valley for many years where I may live. Then you may learn to love another while I am sleeping in my grave. While he is sleeping.
Oh, those notes from Tim. Yes. Oh, nice, Austin.
I'm just a stranger. My face you'll never see no more. But there is one promise that is given. I'll meet you on God's golden shore. He'll meet you on God's golden shore. Here we go.
Cheeky wink. Oh, I like this. I'm just going to reset. That is gorgeous. I really, really like what they've done there. They've kept it. They're not doing any more than they have to, which is so good for the way they've arranged the song. Like the Oh Brother Where Art Thou was very active because they were trying to rally the crowd. There was definitely a kind of hype feeling to how they performed it. Emery Arthur's is simpler even than this. Like it's very, very chill, more laid back than I expected. Just, obviously Man of Constant Sorrow sort of implies it's not going to be super upbeat, but it even surprised me listening to him how far back the tempo was pulled. I really like what they've done here. It seems to me, from my very limited experience of this song in its various iterations, they've gone for something that is much more in between those two. And I don't know if there's inspiration from anyone else. I know Bob Dylan covered this. I think Joan Baez, a whole bunch of other people. And I'm not sure if there's a version that they've pulled more inspiration from than any other. But this is perfect for their sound. That rich harmony is fabulous. It really, really is. And they set that stylistically perfect. I love what they've done with the visuals as well. Let's just go back and have a listen, because I think this is stunning. Let's bring me back up again. Right. Just wait for the subtitle to come up. Well, the title of the song. Even here, before the music even started, you've got the swamp look, slightly desaturated color. You've got the record crackle in the background, which doesn't go the whole way through, I don't think. If it does, it's certainly faded out into the back of my mind. I think it stops. And you've got this worn font. Like it's metal that's tarnished over time or paint chipping away. And it's such a perfect choice for setting up this. This is a vintage song, right? 1913. Possibly before that, depending on where it originally came from. And they've set that up straight away in such a simple way. Even the choice of font, it doesn't look particularly modern, which I think is really, really nice. It's just very simple text. These little visuals, they all just suck you right into what the aesthetic of the video is going to be. Such a good choice right there. And not starting with sound effect, not starting with music straight out of the gate. It's just all scene setting. They could have started with music out of the gate. That would have been fine. But even if the record scratch was underneath that, it wouldn't have given it the same quality as it does having those few seconds of silence. That's fantastic. That's lovely too. So you start out with this single note, and I think it's two people singing in unison. I'm not 100% sure. Very, very simple sound, and you've got the slight modulation from the effect that they're creating with their voices. But it's very, very sort of straight line, and then it just snaps wide open into this beautiful harmony. And you just have this couple of moving chords, very, very simple. Just, and then you get this beautiful, whatever the notes are, this lovely riff coming from Austin that's just it's not complicated, it's on a simple ooh, and it wafts. It's like it's wafting in the breeze. There's no push to it, there's no effort to it, there's no complication in the sound. It's just this gentle riff that just sets us up to then go into the text. And that's such a lovely way to begin the music. It's stylistically perfect. It gives you the tone for exactly what this video is going to be. It lets you in slowly with that first note, but immediately gives you breadth without blowing the walls down. It's not punching you in the face with the amount of sound. It's this very kind of, it's like it just opened up, right? It's like you've heard something going on, you open the cupboard or the wardrobe to Narnia that is this swamp, and you get this wash of sound, and it's so comforting. There's something very familiar about it, which is it's fantastic. Also, who doesn't love a video with a gator at the beginning? Again, perfect little bit of scene setting. This is such a lovely panning shot here.
I am a man of constant sorrow. I've seen trouble all my days.
Just clear my mouse out of the way. There's three things I immediately love about the visuals of this that really help you focus in on the components of the song. You have... Let's just find what I want.
I've seen trouble all my days. Am a man.
Sorry, 1 second.
Man of constant sorrow.
Okay, I'm just going to go right back to the beginning again. So you have this lovely wide shot of the group. I know there's a couple of people here that look a little blurry because they're in the middle of moving, but the focus is on them. It's on the five of them. They're standing out from the scenery that's around them, obviously because of colors and they're people and there's things that we recognize, but the way that the camera is focused as well. And so you see the group, you see this sound. No one person is singing at this point early on. There are points where there is one person singing and we still see this, I think. But this is just a lovely establishing shot. You also have these shots where we break away to somebody on their own in a separate place. You have Tim on the porch later. You've got Adam here sitting below a tree by the looks of it. And what's even really cooler about that is when you do break to them, they're often, like he was doing something earlier, maybe, I think it was the harmonica sound maybe, and you cut, and he's in exactly the same position of where he's holding his hands as he was a second ago. So there's even continuity there. And then you have these lovely close-ups, and they've done exactly what they need to, exactly what they should have done, which is you've this lovely close-up of Austin here, and you've got Adam behind him, completely out of focus, and then the trees behind him, even more out of focus. And it pulls all of our focus onto the singer. You know this. You know, you watching this right now, you know this. I'm not saying anything special or anything out of the ordinary here, but it's just been so well shot, and their choices of splitting between these different shots to highlight what's going on are so good throughout this video.
I am a man, a constant sorrow.
Even here with this mid, same thing. Everything except Austin is out of focus, so we're pulled to him, even though there's clearly something going on in the background.
I've seen trouble all my days.
Right there, that cut with the mouth position, that's what I was talking about. It's so simple, but it keeps continuity even when we're cutting away from the group. They're not in that position anymore. It's one thing to go from Austin close up to Austin mid, and have the camera slightly further away and nothing has changed, but it's so lovely that they've set this up, and of course it's not going to be perfect, but they're cutting from a different angle. We were seeing Adam almost face on a minute ago, now we're seeing him from the side, and so it doesn't matter if he's slightly out of place. It looks like he's doing exactly the same thing, it's just brilliant. I'm going to talk about vocals as well, but just the cinematography of this video is so simple in how well thought out it is, and it just really struck me.
Seen trouble all my days. I bid farewell to old Kentucky, the place where I was born and raised. The place.
Those two verses together are so lovely. I think the accompaniment I don't know if it changes a little bit, but it is fundamentally the same through both of them. You have the different singer, so you have a different sound quality, which gives us a little bit of difference. Rob is riffing in a different way. The that he does right at the beginning. Austin didn't do that. So there's nice little ways of differentiating what's going on. But the tightness of this harmony supporting whoever is singing the solo at the time is fantastic. You've got this wonderful group sound. Obviously they blend beautifully with each other. You'd expect nothing less. But the way that this has been arranged to support the singer is so well thought out. And I absolutely love it. Just going back on Rob's verse, actually.
I bid farewell to old Kentucky, the place where I was born and raised. The place where he was born and raised.
This is also good. I can't remember. I did write this all down for the Survivor video. I think Rob is baritone, and Austin is obviously a tenor. No, Rob is a tenor as well, I think. Adam is the second Adam. There are two Adams for anyone who doesn't know Home Free. This is Adam Rupp right now, who we're seeing, who's the beatboxer. And then Adam Chance, I think, is in the Black Hat, if I recall correctly. We'll see him in a second. He's the other tenor, I think. No, sorry, he's the baritone, I think. So Rob is the other tenor. The balance, however, between where Austin and Rob are singing, you get this nice subtle delineation, even though they are, there's a I was going to say harmony. That's a difficult word to use with this, but there's a lovely blend between the two verses. There's nothing is breaking away, nothing's going crazy. They're keeping it simple, and it is so effective precisely because of that. Oh.
Born and raised, the place where he.
This is so nice too. So here we go. You see, you get the place where from Tim, and then as soon as everyone comes in on he, we break back to the group shot.
Born and raised, the place where.
I tell a lie. Sorry. I don't know why I just said that. What I was trying to say is Tim is the focus at this point. You can hear that he's pushed forward into the group. Of course he's not singing alone. Everyone's singing all the words. what I'm saying is he's made to stand out here, and so we're focusing on him. And also, because we know who it is producing which sound, we know when we see Tim on the screen, your ear kind of automatically associates with him and picks Tim up a little bit more than anybody else. He's been made to stand out in the mix here, but it also, you're having focus pulled, and it's not just visual focus, it is oral focus as well, as long as you know the group members and what they sound like. We know Tim is the bass, so by showing him on screen, our ears are automatically pulled to him a little bit. It's like in a crowd of people. You can be in the most crowded room ever, and if somebody says your name before they start speaking, you're more likely to pick them out than you are somebody else who starts talking to you without doing so. And that's almost the trick that they're pulling here.
Where he was born.
And as soon as it gets to he, Tim is no longer the focus. That's what I was trying to get at. Sorry, I expressed that badly. Head cold's making me a bit stuffy. And that's when we break back to this establishing shot. We still hear Tim, but he's no longer the focal point. You've got that he coming out over the top, and that's what we're meant to be listening to.
The place where he was born and raised.
So good. I love that they've given so much reverb to Adam's beatboxing as well. It's perfect for this arrangement. Obviously, that's not what it would sound like if you were in this field right now. We know it's not diegetic music, but it's just so impactful and so supportive of the song as a whole. And the style the song is meant to be. It's really well done.
Was born and raised. 4 or 6 long years I've been in trouble. No pleasures here on earth I've found.
This is so lovely. There's the qualities that the singers are choosing. Like, there's that lovely kind of, it could be like encouraged, self gearing up, or it could be frustration. There's a little growl. I can't do it well, but there's a growl Austin lets into his voice just as he sings the end of that word, and it adds a quality to the entire line, even though it's only on the R. It's the only time that growl is there, but it affects everything that comes immediately after it. I also love this idea that it's like, I haven't found any pleasures on the land, and we cut to Tim staring out at this completely empty field. Like, there's nothing there. There is no pleasure in this field. In fact, it's muddy, and the area around him is quite kind of dark, and the grass is sort of gone a little bit. It's so effective. It's a simple thing. And I'm you could say I'm clutching at straws a little here. I don't think I am. These guys obviously aren't as theatrical as voice play, and a lot of my background is in theatre performance, and so that's where a lot of this comes from, and so I will pull at things like this. But I don't think people make these choices lightly, and so I think it is still a very, very valid thing to bring up. And I think it's just, there's this desolation out front, and it's really effective for what's going on here. Let's just hear that 4 again, you'll see what I mean.
4 or 6 long years I've been in trouble. No pleasures here on earth I've found.
So nice too, because there's not much that's changed here. The beatbox has picked up a beat. It's not just keeping time now on the first beat of the bar and maybe with a syncopated upbeat at some point before it comes back in again. Now it's got a beat, but the majority of the accompaniment feels similar, and yet everything feels like it's elevated slightly. There's a little bit more, like, it's a sort of plodding determination almost to how the song is moving forwards, especially because of that, the heavy, the sort of very, it's quite a sort of dull bass sound that Adam is producing here together with the effects. It's sort of, it's not big and reverberant. The reverberation is saved for the what I guess would be like a rim shot, or like a side shot on the snare. This, I can't do it. Don't know why I'm even trying. But this kind of click, snap, crack sound that he's doing. And so there's kind of, that's giving us the motion forwards. That's the extra beats that we're adding in. But everything else is still feeling like it's kind of, you've got this dum dum dum. It's this same sort of, the bounce is later in the bar. The downbeat on every bar is still quite heavy. It's really effective.
On earth I found. Oh, in this world I'm bound to ramble. I have no friends to help me now.
This is all so good. Again, keeping things simple, changing things up a little bit. There's a little bit more in the vocals than there was the last time Rob sang. It's just giving it a little bit of a shift. And these lovely, like, we're getting a little bit more. We see Adam chants this time in the cutaways. Like, we're seeing a little bit more each time. It's just really, really effective how this is all being done. I'm just loving this swap between Austin and Rob. Like, the balance that's being kept through the song by using these two singers specifically. We're not moving too far away from the base that we've set for ourselves. And their qualities are so lovely, and they do have a similarity. It's conditioning us to be familiar with what's going on, which is then going to be a surprise when Tim breaks out a little later on.
No friend, I'm bound to ramble. I have no friends to help me now. He has no friends to help him now.
And now we're really into a beat. There's that lovely little fill, and then we go into like this motion. And now it's gone from being the dum, 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 and dum. It's not 4 beats anymore. It's a bit more of a, there's a more of a motion to it. We're moving forwards.
To help him now. It's fare thee well, my old true lover. I never expect to see you again.
That's an interesting one for me, because it's the only time he hits the really hard R on the lover. It stands out, and I'm fascinated. I'm not quite sure, to be honest, what I make of that choice. Like, I like it, but I'm not 100% sure. It makes the word stand out, as it should. To lover I may never see again. I'm not entirely sure. I almost feel conflict from that unusual pronunciation. Is it a good thing? Is it a bad thing? Obviously Man of Constant Sorrow, presumably it's a sad thing. But what does that translate to? Because it's not just sad. Nothing is ever just a single emotion. And I'm interested in that choice there. Because it is unique, I think, within the song. I'll correct myself if I'm wrong about that, but I haven't heard it yet.
Well, it's fare thee well, my old true lover. I never expect to see you again.
Interesting too that we don't change singers here. That wasn't my point, but since I've stopped and Austin's carrying on singing, this is the first time we've gone through the 2 halves of the verse without changing singers, which is an interesting choice. What I'm loving, and I'm listening to this really carefully, the way that they are vocalizing this instrumentation in the background, even though they're hitting relatively hard onsets. It's not a it's whatever the sounds are they're producing, but they're not intruding in any way on the vocals, which is so nice. They've left space around the soloist in the pronunciation, in the mixing, in the musical notes that they've chosen to use. It's so effective. I really like this.
See you again. For I'm bound to ride that northern railroad. Perhaps I'll die upon this train. Perhaps he'll die upon this train.
It's also interesting to me, we cut to, perhaps I'll die on this train. There's this sense of motion now in the lyrics that is deliberately, I think, not being replicated. Like, they're not walking around all of a sudden. They're keeping very still. And the most motion that we're getting from the group, really, is when we have that cutaway to Adam Rutt beatboxing. And, of course, his lips are moving fast because that's what he does. And I think it's such an interesting choice how still they've kept themselves through all of this. Also, can we just talk about Adam's versatility? Like, he's a harmonica, he's a variety of percussion instruments on top of what you'd expect on a kit. Like, he's just showing a beautiful versatility to his voice right now, which is so cool.
I'll die upon this train. Perhaps he'll die upon this train.
I love, while we've got this instrumental going on, that we break away to a little bit of the scenery. There's this beautiful, very slightly sepia shot, but very monochrome. Like, the sepia isn't too strong, but the monochrome is 100% there. And it's just giving this beautiful old vibe. They haven't gone for crazy pops and crackles on the film to represent the film having degraded or anything like that. It's just a simple color removal. That's probably a nice kind of deep greens and browns and all that sort of stuff. And we're just seeing it in this kind of light caramel color almost, and it's just so effective. And then combined with there was another shot right before it, I think. The simplicity, and we see this in perfect clarity for just a second, and then the focus is pulled. And I think we're almost focusing a little bit on one of those lower leaves. Like, it's almost hard to see what we're focusing on, because we're not meant to be paying particular attention. It's just scene setting. It's such a good choice.
You can bury me.
I love that there is that bar where it's just you, nobody else, just a complete pullback, and it just lets out this lovely note that it's also, not only is it just a nice break, but it's also kind of recognizing the fact that we're now changing register. We're going to a singer who is out of the comfort zone that we've set up so far, more than halfway through the song now.
You can bury me in some deep valley for many years where I may live.
I love Tim's quality so much. Obviously, I cut my teeth on voice play and Jeff, and Tim's bass quality is different to Jeff's. I've said before, and maybe a vocal teacher will correct me, or maybe I'm right about this, but it feels like it sits slightly further forward in his mouth. The sound's kind of almost being pushed forward slightly, and it gives it this, it's even singing quietly and without any crazy like wide mouth movement or anything like that. He's able to project and push this sound out so beautifully. It's really, really nice quality.
Here's where I may live. Then you may learn to love another while I am sleeping in my grave. While he is sleeping in his grave.
Oh, so much to love there. I love this unison in octaves. While he is asleep, and then on the halfway through the E, it breaks into harmony. It's such a nice touch. It just gives a little bit of weight to the end of Tim's verse that then kind of pulls back out into the width of the song. It's so effective. I love the choice there to have this kind of... it almost sounds like I can't think of the name of it. There's a specific percussion instrument that's in my hand. It's not a woodblock, but it's something in that vicinity. And it just gives this... There's a sense of openness and space that I get from that particular sound, the way that it's being used. Like, it's almost like it could be nature knocking. It's really, really effective. I'm going to go back once more just because I've slightly thrown myself off something I was going to say.
Love another while I am sleeping in my grave. While he is sleeping in his grave.
Oh, just the simple removal of the beatbox in order to enable that. It lets us focus on that beautiful chord at the end. These chords, the precision the whole way through is so good, and they're settling into these lovely resolutions. You've got the sleeping in his grave. There's that lovely shift as the group opens out into that chord and then settles into the final chord at the end. I love what they're doing, and the blend is just so lovely to listen to. This is so good. I also like that Tim didn't choose to go down here. I'm sure he could. While I am sleeping in his he's sleeping in his grave. He comes back up again for that, rather than doing the grave down in his boots. It's such a good choice because it keeps the group together. It's not separating out. It's keeping the vibe at the end of that verse that sense of togetherness and that sense of group. It's not singling anyone out. Yes, singling anyone out. It's very, very effective.
Maybe your friends think I'm just a stranger. My face you'll never see no more.
I love that. Oh, there's a slight hard R there. More. It's not as hard as Lover was earlier. I love that. Maybe your friends think. Because your friends is a different group of people. It's such a nice choice to go up there because it separates them slightly from the person that is being sung to in this song. I really, really like that. Yeah.
Maybe your friends think I'm just a stranger. My face you'll never see no more. But there is one promise that is given. I'll meet you on God's golden shore. He'll meet you on God's golden shore.
Just before Rob comes in here, I love that this last section is just Son's beatbox. It's just voices sounding together and beautiful, and these powerful, strong harmonies that are being sung really just enhance that. One thing I noticed in the middle of that, and I can't believe I didn't catch this sooner, I think with the exception of those ambient shots in the instrumental, the camera never stops moving. They're still. But we're still getting motion because we're panning around them, and the camera's always... There was a section there, what caught my eye was it came around to one side, and there was just a momentary stop before it started going back the other way again. And it just... There's motion the whole way through, but the group is still. And oh, that's powerful. Because something like this, just standing there and delivering it, is so powerful. I'm going to go back on that. I'll point it out where it happens if I think I've gone far enough.
There is one promise.
No, I didn't. Here, I think.
See no more.
And it just starts going back the other way.
But there is one promise that is given. I'll meet you on God's golden shore. He'll meet you on God's golden shore. Here we go.
I love that that's Rob too. It's like they can have percussion coming from other people, or in this case, record scratches. That's nice because it gives it this contemporary feel. But even then, there's a subtle quality that's been applied to Rob's voice there. It's not quite so upfront. It feels like it's coming from a record. So there's a record being scratched on the recording on the record we're listening to, if that makes sense. It's really kind of cool. Just listen. It's just slightly a bit muffled. It's almost like it's been pulled back from the group.
On God's golden shore. Here we go.
Even here, this is interesting on the harmony. The downbeat is being hit before Austin comes in, so he's having one. Ooh, one. Ooh. There's always that break at the beginning of his phrases. Just listen to it after Rob comes in.
Here we go.
That's so nice, because we allowed that boom. There's the heavy boom of the group sitting before the note that's floating highest, the ooh, ooh, that doesn't come in on that downbeat. And so we keep that kind of the doom of the beginning of each bar and then carry it on with that lovely light note just sailing over the top. I also love that at the end we have a reverse. I don't know if it's the same shot reversed or if they just they took another shot the other way, but we have the reverse shot of this alligator. It's like we're pulling back through everything we went into in order to get to this song. Wow, this is so well produced. It's meticulously thought out, clearly. And I love everything that's gone into this. That is quite stunning. I love the sound that they make together. All of the voices are so strong, and they do just, I keep saying it, but they blend so well. And that's so important for this kind of thing, and it's really, really effective here. I love there are so many country influences to it, and yet it doesn't totally feel country. It still sits. There's a little bit of pop element to it. There's a little bit of a kind of electronic element to it towards the end, especially right at the end with a whoa of it's like it's gone from a record being played to a tape slowing down, and I love that kind of adjustment. This is just great. I love it. I totally see why everyone said this is a good song to start with. It's not too complicated, and yet, like I said earlier, there's a lot of thought has gone into it. Like, the production of this would have been complicated, even though the eventual result isn't, or at least it doesn't appear to be. But that's usually the result of an enormous amount of work that's gone on before it's done. Congratulations to all involved. That's a solid production right there. I love that. I am so excited to dig more into Home Free as a group. I love their sound. They're different. There's something that's different. There's still a cappella. There's still so many things I'm familiar with, and yet they are different to any other group I've heard so far a cappella, and that's wonderful. I love discovering new things. So thank you to everyone who pushed me in their direction. If you haven't seen my other work, this entire channel started because a friend of mine back in the UK, I live in Canada, by the way, if you didn't know that, a friend of mine back in the UK sent me the voice play Wicked medley cover and said, listen to this. And I was not aware. I have heard Pentatonics before, about 7 or 8 years ago. I haven't listened to them for a very long time, so reactions to them coming in due course as well. I'd never heard of Home Free. I'd never heard of voice play. I've had some others recommended to me, the Bass Gang and so on. Voctiv. I think I'd heard of Voctiv, actually. I have not heard any of their stuff. And it's so strange because I love barbershop music. I'm a huge barbershop fan, but I hadn't got into the wider world of a cappella. And so thank you to everybody who's kind of guiding me on my way on this journey. Here, let's get rid of that. Please do, let me know what you think. Fill in any information I missed. If I got something wrong, please, tell me. Hopefully I may have caught it and put it in the comments up here. But if not, please tell me. I'm always, I am making best guesses at this point, and so I may be wrong. But I really enjoyed that, and I'm looking forward to doing more of their work for sure. Thank you to everybody for joining me today. I really appreciate it. It's really fun doing these videos. I love just being able to share what I love with other people, I think. And I read there was a tweet somebody posted the other day on something. I can't remember what it was, and I forgive me if you see this, whoever you are. I don't remember who it was. It wasn't. Maybe it was. It may have even been a YouTube comment. I forget. But they said, nothing gets me as excited as other people getting excited about the things that excite me, which is a complicated sentence, but it's true. I love seeing other people get excited about things that I enjoy. I've watched reactions to the videos that I have done. And especially where, like, there were a couple of people who, for whom Oogie Boogie was the first time they'd ever heard of voice play. And that's crazy from Jeff. And watching people's reactions when they get to that, it's like being able to, it's not very often you get to do something for the first time again. But there's a vicarious living through other people, and I get why people like reaction channels. Because it's so much fun to be able to see somebody enjoying something that much. And I hope that you get some of that from me. If you like this video, please hit the like button. Subscribe as well to my channel if you would like, and hit the notification bell if you want to know each time I release a video. Like I said, probably once a week at the moment. We'll see how that balance carries on. But that seems to be what's going to be working well for me right just at this moment. Head over if you would like to buymeacoffee.com/DavidKReacts. If you would like to buy me a coffee, that would be very much appreciated, but there is no pressure to do so. I'm glad that you're here enjoying this music and my reactions to it. And without further ado, I'm going to call this video there. I will be back shortly with something else next week, and I'm not quite sure what that's going to be yet. I've got enormous pile that I'm still trying to prioritize, and I have a few things I've added to it myself, so we'll see what I get to, but whatever it is, I'm looking forward to it, and I hope to see you there as well. So take care. I hope you have a lovely rest of your day, wherever you may be, and I will see you in the next one. Bye for now.